Well, former President Mr. Borut Pahor of the Republic of Slovenia, thank you so much for joining us on A News. I would like to start by asking you about this COP29 here in Baku. There have been many different terms used leading up to this COP to characterize it: finance COP, the enabling COP. What is your perspective on the importance of this COP here in Baku?
My very first COP was in Copenhagen back in 2009. I've been there as Prime Minister, and I do remember the title of what was, the catastrophic COP, because it has been complete unsuccess, So after that, after Paris, every COP has something to add to a huge success back in Paris. And also this COP will have something. I would call it financial COP.
And there's been so much work going on behind the scenes. We've been reporting down from the event all week. It's very clear there is lots of work going on, that the multilateral negotiations are sincere and strenuous. Being a former leader of a country, can you give us an insight into what it's actually like behind the scenes? What do you expect is going on now? Do you think people will be apprehensive, hopeful? It looks like some progress is being made.
It is a very specific moment because of elections back in EU and the United States. In both cases, during the political campaign, there has been a lot of criticism to green transition. So this is, in my mind, not speaking on behalf of my country, this probably will be the very last COP with some enthusiasm before the next couple of them already after new governments back in Brussels and Washington. So it is a very special moment because everybody knows that something will happen next year. Basically, this COP here in Azerbaijan, in Baku, is the very last one when there is still some sort of optimism in the air that something could be achieved, something huge. I don't know the definition of success, but whatever will be achieved at the end of the summit will be, in a way, success in context of the COPs next couple of years, because I do expect that the new government in Washington, under the leadership of President Trump, and the new Commission under the leadership of Ursula von der Leyen back in Brussels, they will be a little bit more hesitant to, support strong commitments for the future. So, unfortunately, that is the reality. So that is why I'm happy that this COP is here. It is before the next year, which will be some sort of crossroad. And let us hope for the negotiators that will come to a happy end.
One of the things that's been discussed extensively this week is the notion that there may be some painful parts of this transition that's to come, and a sense that those who are already disadvantaged, communities that are already suffering, should not pay an extra burdensome, should not feel the weight of that transition more than those other countries. How do we go about ensuring that happens, that those communities are protected?
Well, that is why I would like to see this COP as a COP of finance that would have at the end of the day some sort of consensus on the level of financial help to those countries. That would be so important, but at the same time so difficult. But in the context of the next couple of years, I think everybody is now doing their best to get there. So it is a difficult job ahead of negotiators, but I wish them all the best.
And you touched on this earlier, but the election of President Trump in the United States is going to bring a different appetite when it comes to their involvement as a country in this work. How do we go about navigating that?
Well, the general fear is that U.S. government would go once again out of the Paris Agreement. Could be the case, we don't know. But it is so obvious that President Trump is of the opinion that going with this green transition means losing the competitive side of the economy. Now, there is a completely different view that being on the other side is being much more competitive. So the history will tell us who is wrong and who is right. I just hope so very much that Mr. Trump, being now president for the second time, is taking care about his legacy. I think there are at least two issues that I think wouldn't like to be on the wrong side of the history. Number one, peace and security. I think he will do whatever it takes to maintain peace and security. Now, number two, not to be against, at least, against the green transition. I do not expect that he or his government, that Ursula and her commission would be, fiercely in favor of, but I hope so very much that part of their legacy would not be being against the green transition.
And finally, can I ask you for your looking forward to the future, your predictions, with all of these challenges, nevertheless, do you remain optimistic about the next few years?
Yes, I think we do not have an alternative. So, nothing is perfect, nobody's perfect. So we'll have ups and downs, and probably in the next couple of years would be some sort of down. But I think because of the facts, because of the data, because of the scientific, conclusions, the humanity should be back on the new consensus how to deal with the problem. And as you probably, I have a child, and I cannot imagine that I, as a father, would be incapable to deal with the problem and leave the whole burden on his shoulders. So it's up to us to do our best.
Up to us to do our best. Former President and Prime Minister, thank you very much for joining us.
No, it was a pleasure. Thank you.